It is actually August 25th. It's the day before the McGregor fight. And there's a hurricane actually hitting land in Texas right now. So it's pretty crazy. But this is a video where we are talking about the friend zone, not getting caught in the friend zone. What does that mean? And this actually has to do with a post on the Austin Men's Development Board. I'm not going to get into the details of it because I want some anonymity there if you're not on the board and this video gets out, or if we put it on our YouTube channel. I don't want to break somebody's identity. But if you are unfamiliar with the Austin Men's Development Board, you should get on it. And also you should look at our other boards. There's the AMD Plus, that stands for Austin Men's Development Plus. That's a one-time payment of $50. In fact, it was just on sale, or there's still an hour left of the sale. So you can get it a little bit less expensive than that. But AMD Plus is amazing, man. It gets you a ton of content, everything, literally everything you need to know about dating, sex, and relationships. And it's just the greatest first step, and gets you on a private board, which is really cool. And then also our MD Excellence program, which is awesome. Awesome. Anyway, guys, check this out. So we're talking about the friend zone here, and where this comes from is a post on the board actually from August 18th. And so way back when in August, in fact, I could be wrong. Yeah. So August 18th, we got a post, and here's what it says. It says, has anyone had a girl say that they want to stay friends for a couple of months until she's ready? You know, ready to be kissed, ready for sexual things. And a woman kind of sets the stage for this. So basically it's a longer post. I won't get all into it because I'm not great at reading everything, but they're hanging out. They're taking things slow. They're going by her rules on this. And one night, you know, after a couple weeks of hanging out or so, and I could be getting that wrong, she gets drunk. She kisses him voluntarily on the dance floor, and the chemistry starts to build. The next day, there's not a consistent, basically like definition to any of this. There's no taking things further. Nothing is going in a direction where it seems like she wants him. And oh my God, there's a problem. So here, the gentleman got a lot of feedback from us saying like, hey man, you're entering into the friend zone. You're entering into this area where it's not so good. Well, today he actually posted, he said, man, today I'm not so happy. And I'm going to paraphrase this because this is even a longer post and I'm not going to read it. But for members on the board, you know what I'm talking about. And this is all about support. This isn't throwing any guy under the bus or anything. I want you guys to do better and get better. But he says, look, we had the talk. And she said that this ain't going to happen. She doesn't want anything more. She's okay with cuddling. She's okay with kissing every once in a while. At least I think that's what it said. But, you know, not okay with this whole thing. And so this is where we get into this problem as men. And I want to talk about this because it's very important. Number one, I remember I was talking with Nick Sparks, and I was doing a podcast on the friend zone, and I asked Nick, and he goes, the friend zone, just don't get in it. And to somebody that doesn't have any experience, that can sound really tough. But that's the start of it, right? Just don't get in it, right? And what does that mean? We'll get to that here in a second. But the other thing too is that can be so dangerous about the friend zone is that when we get in the friend zone, we get pissed off, we get angry, we get frustrated, as anybody would be, is how it would be if we're in the friend zone, man. It sucks. We want something from this girl. We're giving her what she wants and what she says she wants, and we're not getting the result. This pisses us off. And so a lot of times when guys, and not just a lot of times, very common, guys get some advice like that, and it's frustrating, man. You did everything she said. You did everything she wanted you to do, and you are not getting the result. Man, this pisses us off. And let me just take you down the chain of thought of what happens to a guy where this pisses him off, right? Is that he gets pissed off and then he goes, man, I can't believe anything. I can't trust anything. Nothing works. I'm going to look at this. I'm going to Google the friend zone, which tons of dating companies have SEO'd that word and take their different approaches for it. You know, usually not selling you a solution, but selling you the cure to the pain for that problem. But when you're pissed off, you tend to buy into other stuff, which is more pissed off. And so you get these guys then that come in and they say like, fuck women, they're liars, they don't know what they're saying, and da-da-da. And some of that can have some truth into it, but the motive behind it is so flawed. And the motive behind it in the long run, I mean, I've been doing this 11 years, is not healthy. It's not a good thing. So yeah, women, you know, and man, way different discussion. Guys that get laid, talk about maybe the same thing that guys that don't get laid talk about, and it has a totally different meaning. So yeah, women can be full of shit. Women, you can't listen to a woman. When she's playing the rules and all this, or putting down the rules for you, maybe she's full of shit. But a dude who isn't getting laid, and also companies or movements or Reddit groups or whatever it is of guys that aren't getting laid, goddamn, they think that this is about dominance, anger, about control, about how there's a war against man and all this sort of shit. And all these things could be true, but Jesus Christ, it does not have to do with your mismanagement of talking to a female. You talking to a female and getting laid and going for the relationship that you wanted with her is totally separate from all this other stuff that is brought into the mix, making you more and more angry. One thing we know about angry people is you can never be wrong. When you're angry, you're always right, man. And you want to put that out there. And there's also a bunch of stuff that we're putting out there about changing beliefs. Take a look at those webinars and take a look at our YouTube channel to catch all of those. But here's the deal. So friend zone, man, let's speak to your specific problem. So your specific problem has to do with this, is she took the lead in the relationship. She took the lead in what she wanted to do. Now, that doesn't mean that women don't know what they want. That means that when women are confused, when they're trying to protect themselves from being hurt sexually, when they don't know about their sexuality, when they're confused about it, they don't know. Of course they don't know. Of course she's wrong, because she's speaking from her fear. She's speaking from, I don't want this thing to be caught out of hand or whatever and get myself into another situation with a guy where everything's tense. But here's the sad principle of it. The longer that you listen to that and take the actions of it, so the more you do what she says, even the more that you do what she says when she's speaking from her fear, specifically in this case, talking about sexuality, you will not get laid. You will not be the guy that gets laid. You will be the guy that watches her fuck other people and get laid. And that sucks. And that's horrible. So check this out. The problem isn't that women are liars, and women and men are very different, and they say fucking insane shit. If you talk to women, you're confused. But if women talk to men, they're like, what the fuck is this guy saying? He's a fucking, or if they listen to this podcast, they'd be like, what the fuck is this guy saying? This guy's an idiot. So it's not that women and men are liars. It's not any of that. It's that we don't communicate in the same way. What is the problem here is she is afraid. So she is giving you her rules out of fear. It's a huge principle in our whole changing beliefs model and all the sort of men's development stuff that we have. Number one, get out of pain. But number two, stop having pain control you. Like, for instance, we just put out a podcast on being an alpha male. Being an alpha male has nothing to do with like power and determination and the masculinity that you were born into, or even the scientific definitions of it. The cultural definition of what an alpha male is in our society, in the hurt men fucking culture, the alpha male is actually a reaction to the pain that you're in, so that you don't want to lose. You don't want to be a guy that doubts himself. So you do all this posturing and all this other bullshit. Well, a girl who's telling you what she wants dating wise is doing that. Now, here's the other thing. Plain and simple, what Nick Sparks was talking about. Well, don't be a friend. You know why Nick Sparks says that? Is because the guy has a huge skill set, and he's like, why would you be a friend? You always show intent. Be upfront. Be honest. Be direct. All the sort of filtration of what he says, which is right. Excellent coach. If you spend your money with Nick Sparks, you're not wasting your money. Awesome guy. Lives in Austin. Super cool dude. Probably need to have lunch with him one of these days, but hire him. The reason why he's saying that is because the quickest thing that will get you to never be in the friend zone is getting laid. Now, let's bust this concept out here for a second. Dudes, if you are dating a girl or like her, maybe you're not dating her, maybe she thinks you're friends or whatever, but you're going out with her and it's early on and she's telling you about her life and what she wants, and you're telling her about your life and what you want. You're both lying to each other because you're trying to impress each other. At no point is it even possible, are you capable for you to be your full and total self to her, because you're trying to impress her. And same goes with her to you. Now, it's not because you guys are deceptive, lying, bad people. It's because it's impossible for you guys to communicate with one another. Guess what happens? Once the dick goes in the pussy, once the pussy goes on the dick, whatever way you want to fucking put it, As my ex-girlfriend used to say, the 3 rules of pussy are the pussy cleans itself. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The pussy's got to own the dick or the dick's got to own the pussy, but they can't be equals. You can't sit there and, I don't know, there's a male and female for whatever. The reasons why there's male and female. And if the pussy gets wet and you let it get dry, you go to hell as a man. That was actually a Zorba the Greek thing, but she said it as well. And so in this opportunity, when you first meet her and you are not taking advantage of the sexuality of the situation, you're going to be lying to each other even longer. So here's what happens. Guys go on 3 or 4 dates, which is cool. You can go on 3 or 4 dates. You can go on 10 dates before you have sex. But just know that what you're saying about sex and relationships and what you expect from each other is not what it's going to be. It can never come close to that. You cannot even imagine what it is going to be like. What that is like some impression or some image of what you think is going to be good for you. So the quicker that you can have sex, the more everybody can calm the fuck down and see what it really is. And this is why I encourage it. I don't encourage fast sex just to have some male advantage. I encourage fast sex so that men and women can be men and women. That's straight up it. So think about these principles and then how do we do it? That's the hard fucking part. So our dude who's writing about the friend zone, man, potentially that's where you already fucked up. All right. But you can get out of it. Now, stating intent, as Nick Sparks always says, is a great thing, and definitely check out his stuff, but he'll say, be direct, say it, show it with your nonverbals, show it with your different type of communication. Here's what I would say. All right, is that, and yes, Joe, you're communicating there. Yeah, I'll put it up there and it'll be streaming and all that sort of stuff. But all you get is a black screen. Damn, that sucks. So, but here's what I say. Is let's say we go back to August 18th. You guys make out on the dance floor. And by this time, you've already had a couple weeks of, friend zoning stuff or whatever it is. So it actually says here, has anybody had a girl say they want to stay friends for a couple more months till she's ready to kiss and sexual things, but she's totally fine with cuddling, holding my hand. Last week, she got drunk and kissed me voluntarily on the dance floor. I've made myself perfectly clear with my sexual intent and touching and for her any chance I get. Do I need to keep pushing? I honestly really like her. She's talking to me. She's taking me, sorry, I can't read, to the coast to meet her family, and I'm spending days with her. We ain't technically dating yet, but she's putting me in the get to know you stage. I want to eventually be official with her and have her as my girlfriend. I just don't know how to get her more comfortable with me. How do I do this? Dude, there's so much wrong with this, right? And not to put you down, because you can fix this. This is all stuff you can fix. This is all stuff that you can get so right that you'll live just a kick-ass life. Because God, look, we've all been in these shoes. We've all done this, man. We've done it probably way more than you. It's really sad. It's terrible. But again, this isn't because women are liars. This isn't because women are these evil bitches. People can be evil, but anyway, whatever. We don't want to jump down that rabbit hole. It's very, very separate. This is a smaller issue. So here's how we deal with it. If a girl tells me that, I listen to her, right? I listen to her and I say, hey, I totally understand. You just want to be friends, whatever. And part of this is the principle is, number one, I do not meet resistance with resistance. I do not meet drama with drama. Unless I'm having fun with it and being an asshole. But you don't do those things, because anytime you meet resistance with resistance, drama with drama, anger with anger, more of it comes up. So you don't do that, right? So what you do is you say, okay, cool, that's awesome. I hear you. But in the back of your mind, you also know we don't know each other. We haven't had sex. We're speaking about concepts. We don't get it. But both of us like each other for some reason. So I'm a man. I want to fuck. In order to get her womanness to say she wants to fuck, I need to agree and listen to her and say, cool, awesome. But here's the thing. I always push. But I always push like a gentleman. So here's one of the beauties of sexual intent. And this is more the reason why you should think about AMD Plus. Like I said, you have 40 minutes, 38 more minutes until it goes off sale, but it's $37. Man, you get 2 badass products and on a board, which is much better than the AMD free board. But anyway, I digress. So the thing is that you want to learn to escalate from this. All right. And as a man, we're always pushing, but we need to push like a gentleman. That means we push, we show our hard dicks, we show our intent. We don't have a fucking discussion about it. And when she says, wait, stop, we say, cool, no problem. I want you to make a decision. There's tons of videos on escalation that we have that you should watch. Man with the Golden Dick is probably one of the best standard ones, and it's on YouTube, and you can find it. So check this out. She has this discussion, but you make yourself perfectly clear of like, oh, I really like you, and I want to be there for you, but I'm going to be a gentleman and listen to you, and you say all this fucking bullshit, and you have a logical discussion with her. You're communicating with her in the same way she's communicating with you. You are buying into her style of communication. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you a bitch. That doesn't make you whatever, but it makes you a guy that ends up in the friend zone. So the way you get out of that is you take the same person, right? And you say, hey, that's awesome. I like it. But fuck, I want you, man. And if I get out of hand, well, just be clear to me and let me know what's going on. All right. And then when you're on the dance floor and you make out with her and she's drunk and kisses you, you fucking take it to another level. Number one, if you're on the dance floor, and so you should only sexually escalate. So take your sexual escalation where you can get it, especially in this situation. So that happened on the dance floor, but you should always sexually escalate into a point where you can complete it. Now, there's other guys on the TSL online and stuff that disagree with me on this, but there are also dudes that get laid a lot. But to start out, I would say that's a good starting place. So number one thing is that you're always pushing for sexuality, yet you're always able to stop. Now, the way sexual escalation works is here's the fucking bottom line, man. If I were with this girl and she told me this shit, I'd be like, yeah, totally, man. It's all cool. Let's go up to, if we're cool, let's go up to my place and watch a movie. You go up to my place and watch a movie, and I'd just say, like, I'd give one of the different lines that I have on how to get a kiss, which might be like, if we were to have a first kiss, where would it be? And then she says something, and then we go there. I go for the kiss. She takes it or not. And this is the thing. She takes it or not. I go for the kiss, and she says, wait. I don't want to be whatever. And I just say, hey, cool, man, we don't have to make things too complicated. I just want to kiss you. I think you like me. I like you. And we don't have to take it any further. But if you do want to kiss me, stop lying to yourself about it and let's do it. And then she says no. And I say, well, cool. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we should go home. I guess I ruined the date. Get your stuff and go. And she's like, oh, no, but wait. And then we go for the kiss, right? So the way escalation works is I'm not mapping it out all the best here, but there's literally probably like 50 fucking videos mapping this out that you should watch that are for free. So maybe you should watch those. Or you could pay the $37 and watch Formula 69 and get it fucking like that. So the other thing that I'd say too is that, so number one, we need to escalate. We need to let that happen. That needs to happen. Okay. The other thing too is that when we buy into a girl's resistance, like for instance, we make out on the dance floor and she says, well, I don't know, maybe we should just be friends. I just like this, or maybe you can meet my parents and da-da-da-da-da. And you do all this stuff and you're bending over backwards for her. And this is where all the guys who are like so hateful in the industry go, you're being beta. Oh my God, it's such a hurtful thing. The reason why being a beta hurts is because it hurts to be in those situations, right? But don't worry about that shit. You can fix that. You can fix that very easily. You don't have to hate people. You don't have to resist doing nice things for people in order to be a guy that gets laid properly. You can very easily move into that. So that all being said, let's say you make out on the dance floor and then you have the talk and you say, well, I really want to be with you, da, 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 all this sort of shit. And she goes like, well, look, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I like you, but I like you as a friend. And you just say, cool. All right. Awesome. You know what I would do in that situation? What I would do in that situation is I would just sidestep it, agree with it, and then move on to another point of escalation. But if it gets so much to the point where that's not going to happen, then cut it. All right. And this is one of those things that Nick Sparks was talking about. Don't be a friend. You don't have to be a friend. You don't also have to be a dick. But if you're having a relationship that is not the relationship that you want, what are you doing? Now you're not only lying to yourself, as well as she's probably lying to herself, but you're disrespecting yourself. You think you have to repress your sexual urge in order to have somebody like you, when the whole point of you guys liking each other had to do with your sexual urge. So that is very, very key. So if you're at that point where it's just not working out, go. You know what happens when you go? Especially when you go and you're real curt about it. You don't say like, well, I just can't deal with this and da da da, but I like you, but I can't do this. And you don't take that route. You take the route of like, hey, look, I told you how I felt. It's obviously some confusion. You don't want what I want. So later. Guess what happens? A lot of the times they actually come back and they reconsider. And then when they reconsider, things are a little bit better. But here's the deal. Why, we get in this mode where we get rejected a little bit and we chase harder. That's just a phenomenon of what happens. It's not because you're a weak person or whatever. That's a phenomenon of what happens. If I want something and I try for it and I can't get it, I want it more. That's just human nature. That's what happens, right? But the thing is that we don't want to build our life and our relationships and our sex lives and our sense of masculinity and our sense of self based off of that. We want to base it off of people that we do like. And to be honest, she's probably in a place where she can't really give herself because she's already so goddamn confused, and you're already so confused about it now because you've bought into her shit that it's probably a bad decision. And part of the reason why you want it, I was telling a client this actually yesterday and last Thursday, is that you need to realize when you're in this mode that it's just a phenomenon of nature. You went for something, it got rejected, so you want it more. But once you calm down, that obsession, that sort of need to be with her will get more calm. Look, I'm just going to tell you this. This is a support group. This is a place where guys can come. I'll start doing more lives like this, answering questions on it. This isn't to hate on you, but shit, we have a shit ton of videos on sexual escalation, how you can get there on our YouTube channel, on our iTunes podcast, on our Stitcher podcast that are all for free. And you can access those, all right? They're fucking good. There's a lot of shitty pickup advice out there. We are not it. There's a lot of shitty men's development advice out there. We are not it. We get consistent results. Maybe you should listen to it. And then the other thing, of course, is if you're looking for a place to start, AMD Plus, get it. Like I said, you have 31 more minutes, but that is $37, and the price goes back up. It's like $250 worth of shit. It's awesome, man. And aside from that, there's also MD Excellence, which is really, really super kick-ass. Way better group. You get on live calls 3 a week with myself and our alumni and all this other sort of stuff. And you can even go up from there. But there's all sorts of options for you. Your life is able to be fixed, and it can be fixed. So why don't you do it? This is a great place, especially when it comes to dating, sex, relationships, and staying in a relationship. We have the best shit. Use it. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. You have a good day. It's about to rain like a motherfucker here. And ciao.